Good day, and welcome to another broadcast of Global Capital Inc. in collaboration with the 10x Blueprint Academy. Today, I want to talk about a pretty important topic, and that is 10x Wealth Leadership Blueprint. Now, just let me give a backdrop to the 10x Wealth Leadership Blueprint just before I get into the subject matter. Now, research that we have conducted over many years, we are seeing that highly educated persons all across the world, they are working paycheck to paycheck. And I repeat, highly educated persons. And things that we're seeing, many of these persons we have seen, especially looking back at the starting of the COVID-19 pandemic and where we are today. We saw many of those families did not have their emergency savings account. They did not have a smart investment account. They do not have things like early retirement account. And that's simply because of the fact that they continue to work paycheck to paycheck. Now, we at Global Capital Inc. and the leadership at 10x Blueprint Academy, after spending a year of studying this reality during the pandemic, we have decided that there are things that we can do to really provide the information and the support to families across the world. So, with that, we have designed the 10x Blueprint Academy, and within that institution of learning, we are now rolling out a number of signature programs that are truly designed to impact the lives of people. Now, one of our flagship programs that we are now talking about and we are now rolling out, today we have reached hundreds of persons with this program. It is titled the 10x Wealth Leadership Blueprint. Now, the 10x Wealth Leadership Blueprint stands on five pillars, and I will go through each of the five pillars today so as to ensure that you have a very clear understanding of this platform, and perhaps you can now start to make an informed decision as to why this model, this brand, may be best for you. Now, one of the first um, content that you're going to be introduced to, this is an entire system. It is titled the Financial Planner's Game Plan. Now, what is so important about the Financial Planner's Game Plan is that the Financial Planner's Game Plan really gets you started with things like financial goal setting, financial timelining, and financial game planning. Three important concepts. Why is this so important? We see families and individuals across the world, and you see this become more evident at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year when those individuals start to think of things like their New Year resolutions. They develop their game plan. They have a vision of what they want to accomplish. They want to increase their disposable income. They want to have their dream home. They want to have a fancy car. They want to have an emergency savings account. They want to retire early in life. So all of these things start to play out in your head of the things that you want to accomplish in the year or years ahead of you. But from what we are seeing, all the research, all the information, it's clearly saying that many of those persons, the majority of those persons that set the goal never accomplish it, never accomplish them. Now, there are a reason why they're not accomplishing those dreams. And some people even have dreams of owning their own business that can be the cash cow and the cash flow machine that is going to get them off of the paycheck to paycheck cycle and put them into the Hall of Fame of the wealthiest people in the world. Yes, you have these big dreams, but it's important for you to recognize that setting the goal is only step one in the whole process of goal setting and making that dream become real. So the financial planner's game plan literally walk you through a step by step approach that you can use to really understand how to better set your goals and how to accomplish them. And that is what this program is all about. And today I'm going to spend some time really helping you to better understand this. So, one of the first concepts that you will be introduced to is the concept that we call financial goal setting. Now, when we talk of financial goal setting, it is something that you want to be clear about. It is something that you want to be realistic about, and you want to be certain that it is achievable. So you want to ensure you are clear about the goal. It's not enough to say that you want to be rich. How rich do you want to be? You must be very clear about that. Um, the goal must also be achievable and it must be realistic. So this platform is the kind of platform that get you started on the right footing. So you understand about financial goal setting. Then the second stage is about timelining. It's important that as you set a goal, that you understand the timeline, because divorced from the timeline, you can have a runaway train because you have no start date, you have no end date as relates to the goals that you want to accomplish. So in this program, we emphasize the importance of setting clear start date and clear end date. The next step that we bring you to is a step that we call financial game planning. And here where the greatest challenge lies. You set a goal. You want to be rich. You want to own your own home. You want to have your own car. But guess what? You set the goal, but the game plan does not correspond with the goal that you want to accomplish. Let's take, for example, you set a goal of earning $5 million a year. And the timeline again is 1 year, but your game plan is to leverage taxi service to be able to do that. So what you do, you purchase a car and you enlist that car into a taxi service without doing a proper evaluation of your game plan. Now let's do a brief evaluation here. What is the average income potential of a car? Let's take, for example, that on a monthly basis, you're able to generate something like about $100,000. Now, you multiply 100,000 by 12 months, you get $1.2 million. Now, immediately, what this shows is that you are less than 50% to your financial target. Now, this only represents the income, but when you take into consideration the expenditure, it's going to be way less than $1 million. So here is where the game plan has to be rethink, restructure, reapply towards achieving the financial target that you're going to be setting yourself of $5 million. So these are some of the critical areas that we go into with you in the financial goal setting, and that's to ensure that as you set the goal, it's properly timeline. As you set the goal, it is realistic. As you set the goal, it's achievable. As you set the goal, it's clear. Most importantly, as you set the goal, we ensure that you have a strategic game plan, a workable game plan that is going to help you to accomplish the financial targets that you have set yourself. In this process, we really work with you for you to be able to see through this entire process, just like the proactive leaders do. They think ahead, they see beyond problems, and they're able to take informed action to achieve the desired results. These tools and these systems will literally empower you to achieve this. Now, along with this, we bring it to the other concept, the fourth concept that we call team dynamics and team management. In most cases, you're going after your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations. You're going after it, me, myself, and I. And that is definitely the one of the slowest ways to achieve any goal that you're going to be setting yourself. It could be a financial goal, it could be a business goal, it could be whatever goal you want to call it, taking the loan approach, me, myself, and I, it's going to get you there much slower. So in this program, we emphasize the importance of having a team. And it is not just having anyone in your team. You need to have the players in your team that have the right skill sets to complement that vision that you are going after. So we work with you to ensure that you are clear about this and you can truly up level this information, apply this information into your organization or into your life, so as to ensure that your organization is reaching its business strategic objective, and in your personal life, you're achieving your personal financial goals that you have set yourself. Now, as we get past this, we move to another important concept, and that concept is what we call the WBS, the work breakdown structure. Now, this again is one of the reasons the absence of having your WBS, the absence of having your work breakdown structure, is one of the reasons why the project runs away from you. Whether that project is a business project or whether it's a personal goal that you have set yourself, it runs away from you because the goal setting, the timeline, and the game plan and the team dynamics is never collapsed into the WBS. Now, why is the WBS so important? The work breakdown structure, because it is the WBS, the work breakdown structures, that truly informs you of the kind of information that you need to have, of the kind of decision that you need to make in relation to achieving the goals that you have set yourself. The work breakdown structure has all the projects clearly itemized, and it builds it out into the entire project. So let's take, for example, you are running a company and the objective is to increase the visibility of the company. You don't wait until the day for visibility and then you start to interface with the public in relation to your brand intention value thread. The way you do it beforehand, as you build out your team dynamics, you identify who are essential to your team. So, for example, because this is going to be branding and marketing, you're going to be looking at things like, do you have the right advertising copywriter? Do you have the right people in place who are skilled in the sales communication process and can master that entire process? Do you have, the right build up of the products as to ensure that once you go public, you have an adequate supply of those products for the level of demand that you expect. This literally position you to understand all of the team players, and as you understand your team players, you all of their specific roles and responsibility within a period of time must be well documented in the WBS. Now, this is enough that I'm going to give to you today as it relates to the financial planner's game plan. This is only one of the platforms that you will be learning as you become a part of the 10X Blueprint Academy and the 10X Wealth Leadership Blueprint, which is one of our flagship and signature programs that we are now introducing to you. Now, the second systems that you will learn here is what we call the pathways to wealth. Now, here it is. There are many, many persons across the world who have big vision of attaining wealth. And of course, there's nothing wrong in you seeing yourself as being wealthy and you being ambitious enough to want to build wealth. And who has a problem with you wanting to build wealth? There's certainly not on your side of the fence. All right. So the second pathway here, the second system talks to you about the pathways to wealth. And the what we are learning is that there are many, many persons out there who are on a particular path to build wealth, and they're not fully aware or they're unaware that that particular path will never enable them to attain wealth. Let's take, for example, the way that the average person across the world are educated is to go to school, get a good education, and get a good job. But I want you to do an analysis. And the analysis that I want you to do is to ask your 10 closest friends that are working with you right now in your organization how many of them would have been able to attain financial independence from the work that they are doing. My point in case is that for 90% and more of the global workforce never attain wealth from the work that you're doing. Now, don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you working. But the fact is, most of you will never, ever be able to attain wealth from the job that you're doing. All right. So it's important for you to have this kind of information. So in this platform, we educate you about this. Yes, there are types of jobs that will enable the 1% of the global workforce to attain a decent amount of disposable income from their labor. They trade their time for money and they're able to amalgamate and gain a decent amount of income. But that only represents 1% of the global workforce. And you need to know this. Now, in this program, the Pathways to Wealth, we work with you to help you to understand the two major platforms of wealth building. And one is investment, and two is business ownership. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and with a blindfold across your eyes, you're going to invest because you could invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, you could invest in hedge funds, you can invest in ETF, exchange trade funds, you could invest in REIT. There are a plethora of platforms that you can invest in. But my recommendations to you is to invest time with us so you have a much better, clearer understanding about these investment platforms before you actually make an investment decision. In fact, we will be working with um, strong accredited investors, venture capitalists, private equity investors from various parts of the world. So at the right time, we will be bringing you these kinds of information to really expand your knowledge and increase the opportunity for you to know more about these forms of passive income cash flow. Along with this, the other pathway to wealth is through business ownership. But many of you would have heard me say time and time again that it is one thing to start a business, and it is quite another to scale that business with local, regional, and international relevance. In this platform, we not only help you to understand the pathways to wealth, but through our synergies with team players and successful brands and players across the world, we will, at the right time, we will start to expose you to those persons that can bring their experiences to you to really help you to understand how to start a brand, how to up level that brand, and how to integrate those brands into local, regional, and international trade. In fact, yours truly, one of my books here, which is Manager's Toolkit, it really helps you to understand how to start a brand and how to build that brand out to attain international relevance. And some of the concepts that you walk away here with is things like how to build out your brand traits to appeal to your specific target market. One of the important concepts that you need to know in starting a business that the business is not about you, it's not about your emotion, that you have wrapped up into the business idea. To do a business, to start a brand and to do it successfully, it's all about you understanding your target market. It's all about you understanding your target market needs and wants and expectations and dreams and hopes and aspirations. And it is with this knowledge, this body of knowledge, you are now able to leverage it. And the way you leverage it is to ensure that when you're building out your business model, you're building out your business model to appeal to those needs, wants, and expectations, and those dreams and hopes and aspirations. Again, this is only ground zero in the whole process of building up a business. Beyond this, you have to understand, truly how to build that brand and how to market that brand. So with this program and the other programs that we're going to be bringing to you is going to literally help you to understand all of this. So we talk a little bit here about the pathways to wealth. Some of the other concepts that you will be walking away with are things like wealth love languages. I mean, how much do you understand about the wealth love language? Now, this is a very unique concept because we have seen that many successful brands, many strong brands has entered the market and they have simply fade out. And there's a reason why you're fading out. It's not that the product is not relevant to the consumer. The product is relevant to the consumer, but you are not able to build brand awareness. And the reason you're not able to build brand awareness is largely because of the high cost associated with building brand awareness. So we have taken this into consideration with this program, and this is exactly one of the reasons why we have designed this particular platform that we call the Wealth Love Language. Now, what is so unique about this? The Wealth Love Language helps you to understand four important financial markets we call corporate financing. So, under this heading, you learn about what is debt capital, you learn about what is equity capital, you learn about what is smart capital, and you learn about what is credit capital. Many of what, most of what I'm saying here might be music to some people here, and to some people it might just be, a foreign language. But what I want to emphasize is that you're in business. You need to understand corporate financing beyond just understanding that the debt capital market exists. When we speak of the debt capital market, we work with you for you to understand the portfolios within the debt capital market. We work with you for you to understand the pre-qualification criteria to access those portfolios. We work with you to help you to better understand smart capital leverage. Last but not least, we work with you to ensure that you truly understand how to mitigate that debt. And in terms of mitigating that debt, it's an important subject matter for you to take the time to understand, whether you're in business or whether you're in life, because the costs associated with debt acquisition is very high. I repeat that. The cost associated with debt acquisition is very high. So, what this program does for you is ensure that you understand the debt capital. You understand all of the realities associated with it. All right. You understand how to buy that debt. You understand how to leverage that debt. You understand how to mitigate that debt. And let me give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. In most cases, you buy a debt. Let's take, for example, you buy a debt of $20 million. That's your principal balance. The interest rate on that is 10%. So 10% of $20 million is going to be something like about $2 million. Yeah. Now, $2 million over what life cycle? Because the other step here is what we call interest. So if you're paying $2 million over a life cycle of 20 years, because that can be the life cycle of the debt, you simply means that over the life cycle of the debt, by simply paying $2 million back on the principal, which is the interest, you're paying $40 million back in 20 years. Now, I'm not here to say if that's good or bad. I'm here to say to you, because I wouldn't argue good or bad because of facts associated with inflation and deflation. But I'm here to say to you that there's a smarter way in which you can buy that. And that smarter way really enables you to understand how to take a debt, how to significantly up level and cash flow that debt to the extent that it allows you to pay back on your principal balance in a faster period of time, which reduces your debt life cycle, reduces your debt cost, and enables you to get the equity in that investment portfolio much earlier. And that is saving you millions of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on the particular debt portfolio. And by extension, that gives you debt leverage. So these are some critical kind of information that we're going to be bringing to you with the 10x Wealth Leadership Blueprint on the, with the collaboration between Global Capital Inc. and the 10x Blueprint Academy. These are programs that we are truly excited about because we know the impact that these programs have on your business. All right. Okay. Welcome back. We just had some technical difficulty there. So before we had that interruption, I was talking about the debt capital market and how using our systems can really enable the entrepreneur, the business person, to save hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars on their debt portfolio. Now, this is not only unique and built out for businesses, it's built out for the average individual. You may have your home mortgage, and this is a very, very unique program that really shows you how to bring down your debt costs associated with your home mortgage. A beautiful program. And it's largely about showing you how to build wealth. So, along with this, you will also be learning about the leadership love language. And leadership is something that you want to commit the time, the talent, and the resources to really learn how to become a better leader in leading your business and in leading your personal life. In this program, you learn about wealth leadership in the process of thinking ahead. What are you thinking ahead about? Are you thinking ahead about home ownership? Are you thinking ahead about car ownership? Are you thinking ahead about your children's college funds? Are you thinking ahead about early retirement? Are you thinking ahead about emergency savings account? Are you thinking ahead about smart investment strategies? What are those things that you're thinking ahead about? Now, what we've recognized is that in most cases, when you are exposed to some of this information, you start to think ahead. Something happens, fear steps in, and fear cripples you. All right. So we also introduce you to the concept that we call wealth leadership and the process of seeing beyond problems that literally provides you with the tool, the support, the mentorship, the coaching, and that support that really get you past the problem zone. All right, get you past the problem zone. And then next we bring you to the concept that we call wealth leadership and the process of informed action. Now, how can you take informed action? You need to get a PFA on your side, a professional financial advisor, a personal financial advisor that can walk you through the process. So, from a professional financial advisor standpoint, you're going after corporate financing. But do you know how to, you know, access and leverage and mitigate debt capital? Do you know how to access and leverage and mitigate equity capital? Do you know how to access and leverage and mitigate credit capital? Do you understand much about the smart capital market? And here is the importance of the PFA, the professional financial advisor, or the personal financial advisor. The personal financial advisor also will be able to walk you through a series of financial models to really ensure that you are making the best and smart investment decision. Now, let me say this when it comes to your money. When it comes to your money, you don't want to be gambling with your money. You want to ensure that you have solid advice on your side that is working with you, that is committed to that process to ensuring that they can 10x your cash flowing potential by assigning the right investment portfolio. Yes, I said it. You want to be able to 10x your potential to increase your disposable income when you work with your PFA, your professional financial advisor, or your personal financial advisor to ensure that you're making the wisest and smart investment decision. The last thing that you want to do with your hard earned money is to be gambling. Last thing that you want to be doing. So you need to get a PFA on your side to help you through this process. And that's what this program will do for you. It helps you to literally understand how to think ahead, how to see beyond problems, how to take informed action to achieve desired results. Last but not least in this program, we introduce you to the concept that we call the income audit analytics. When last have you taken the time out to assess your income? You know that you earn X amount, but when you take away your expenditure from your income, what happens in most cases? In most cases, you have a negative bank balance. So when you have a negative bank balance, all of your future plans and your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations are put on pause. And what are those dreams and hopes and aspirations that you have for yourself? You have the dream of owning your own home, dream of owning your own car, dream of early retirement, dream of having your children investment funds, dream of having an emergency savings account. So the next time a pandemic comes around, you are cash secure. You don't have to be stressed out because stress kills over 110 million persons every single year. So what are you thinking ahead about? So we see that this happen. Your negative bank balance, all your future plans put on hold. So what do? You become frustrated in most cases and you give up. Why? Because you don't have a PFA. So this is what we do. We help you to understand and how to assess your income against your expenditure against your balance sheet against all of your future plans. And when we see that your negative bank balance cannot support your future plans, we bring you into the new concept, creative thinking process, where we help you to understand how to increase your income. Now, traditionally, as I keep saying, most people trade their time for money. And that's the way. If you want to remain poor, keep doing this. All right. And this only. But you can do this and still you could have a next stream of income. You need to learn different types of skill set that will literally enable you to beef up your income. Some can be active income that you work a few hours a day and ensure that it may even surpass your primary source of income. But you also need to understand what is passive income stream. Now, one of the most passive income stream that we like to talk about is real estate investment. But real estate investment is capital intensive. The average person don't have the kind of disposable income to start here. but you don't have the disposable income to start here because you don't know how to start here. My promise to you is that you work with us and we really help you to understand the concept where we talk about it's better to have 1% of something or 10% of something than 100% of nothing. So we work with you to really help you to understand the importance of team and team dynamics and how you can leverage team and team dynamics to start to position yourself to significantly scale active and passive income cash flow. Now, I trust today you would have enjoyed this short podcast. I just want to quickly recap some of the things that we talk about. We talk about the 10X Blueprint Academy. We talk about the partnership with Global Capital Inc. We talk about the signature program project that we have designed, which is the 10X Wealth Leadership Blueprint. Under the 10X Wealth Leadership Blueprint, we say that there's 5 systems and you need to learn all of them if you want to position your business and position your personal life to take off significantly. And in this program, you learn about the financial planner's game plan. You learn about, what is the pathways to wealth. You learn about the wealth love language. You learn about the leadership love language, and you learn also about how to do your income audit analytics. Of course, this is just introducing you to this content. And when you come into this program, I want to show you. It's going to wow you. It's going to change your life forever. All right. So do enjoy. Remember, I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and share. Because we truly have designed this program to really touch the average person, touch the life of an entrepreneur, and touch the life of family to really ensure that we are making impact that is larger than life. We for the families, we want to get the individual and the families off of the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Businesses, we want to help you to scale with local, regional, and international relevance. So feel free to reach out to us and feel free. I want to ask you to like, subscribe, share. All right. Be blessed and see you in the next broadcast.